Today we're going to take some notes over 3.1 to 3.3. We will be having a quiz over this exact paper coming up on Monday. There are some terms that I want you to know, so please pull out your red pen and fill in the blanks on this important information. The first one you hear see, it's called parts of the expression being added or subtracted together. Those are our terms. What is a term with a variable in it called? A variable term, okay? And remind me again, what is a variable, class?
A letter.
A letter. It's any letter that you can use. A coefficient. Read to me the definition of a coefficient.
The number part of the variable term.
Everybody, more than just one person. What's a coefficient?
The number part of a variable term.
Excellent. And finally, class, what is a constant?
A number of variables.
What this next section is asking us to do is to identify the like terms, the coefficients, and the constants in the expression. So remember, when we see a problem like this, the first thing we want to do is underline the things that are in the same families or that are like terms and circle the other ones. Noah, what are my first like terms that we see in the X family?
-3x and 2x.
Correct. Do you see any other like terms?
5 and -10.
Very good. Okay, we call them like terms, and in here we call it being in the same family. We just wrote down all these different terms. Remind me again, what is a coefficient?
A number that stands
The
for
Nope.
number part of the variable.
Everyone say it to me. The number part of a variable term. So you're going to look for the variable. Remind me again, what's a variable? A letter. Okay, look for the letter and then find the number that's attached to it. What are my two coefficients?
-3x and 2x.
Okay, so I heard -3x. I only want the number part, not the variable part, so it's just going to be -3. And what's the other one?
-2.
Positive 2.
Okay, +2. Constants. Hayden, remind me again, what is a constant? Okay, a number without a variable or a number that stands alone. All right, what are my constants? +5 and -10 is correct. I'd like you guys to try to do problem B on your own. Okay, as I walked around, a lot of people did get it correct, but there's a couple things I want you to remember. Say that saying with me that we've said quite a few times. Every number has a sign, and that sign is directly in front of that number. So if somebody forgot something, a lot of times what I saw was they forgot their sign. Okay, so the like terms are 8y and -5y. What else are my like terms? -12 and 6. What'd you get for your coefficients?
8 and -5.
Okay, so a few people told me 8y. Remember, get rid of that variable. I only want the number part of the variable term. What were my constants? -12 and 6. Okay, once again, a few people were forgetting to put their negatives right there. Just remember, whatever sign's in front of it goes with it. The next one is asking us to simplify the expression. What does it mean to simplify something, class? To make it more simple. I want you to try to do problem A and B on your own. All right, Huang, what did you underline and circle on problem A? Okay, so the first thing we always want to combine, class, is it the variable term or the constants? Every time you need to connect or put them together, the variable terms. So right now, just as a reminder, this is a minus, this is a plus, this is a plus, this is a minus. The rules we're using is same sign, add and keep, different signs, subtract and take. There were quite a few people that looked like they were trying to multiply things. There's nothing here that tells me to multiply it. So first thing we're going to do is combine those two. Huang, what do you get when you combine the -3x and the -5x? Very good, because it's the same sign. You add the numbers, keep the sign. And what's the rest of my answer? +17 is correct because also the constant, same sign, add the numbers, keep the sign. If you do not have that, please erase it and fix it. Talila, next one, what should I circle and underline?
Underline -5y and +5y, +5y, and circle 3 and -2.
Very good. Combine the variable terms first, and what do you get, Talila?
1.
Okay, but the variable terms, negative 5y and positive 5y, what happens?
They're same, so that's 0.
They're the number and the opposite, they cancel out. Because they've canceled out, you don't have to write the 0. All you're left with are the constants. 3 minus 2. Talila, what did you say the answer was? 1 is correct. Problem C is going to be very similar to what we've just done. Matthew, what should I underline? 7/10 m. Negative 2/5 m. What should I circle? Very good. Okay, when we combine the like terms, first we're going to combine the m family. What do I have to do before I can combine those, class?
Multiply the denominator.
I need to get a common denominator. We're not going to multiply it, but we are going to find a common denominator. Isaac, what's the common denominator I need?
2.
Not 2.
What? 10.
Correct, 10. So this is going to stay as 7/10. But Isaac, what does the 2/5 become?
It becomes a 4.
4/10. Very good. Now, Isaac, what is 7/10 minus 4/10?
3/10.
Very good. Hayden, is it going to be a positive or a negative? Okay, we're going to take the sign of the larger number, which was a positive. So we know it's going to be 3/10. And Angeline, what family is the 3/10 in? Very good, it's in the M family. And Jalen, now I have to combine my constants. What's negative 4 plus 7? Okay, negative 3. Did you take the sign of the larger number? No. So what should it be instead of negative 3? Positive 3. Very good. So we've got 3/10 m plus 3. I'd like you guys to do problem D on your own. Amira, help me to understand what to do first.
You gotta add your 4.1R and 2.3R.
Very good. We want to combine the R family. When you add 4.1 and 2.3, what do you get?
6.4R.
Very good. And then what else do I need to do?
Drop down your positive plus 10.
Excellent. Should I combine those two terms?
Nope.
No, they are not in the same family. Raise your hand if you got 6.4R plus 10. If you did not, that's okay. Just erase it and fix it because you want to make sure it's right for your notes when you study. For problem number 3A, we need to get rid of our parentheses. Here's what I saw a lot of people doing on their homework. They started to circle and underline with parentheses there. You are not allowed to do that, okay? So we've got to get rid of our parentheses. Do I need the first set of parentheses around x plus 3?
No.
I do not, so just drop it down without it. Gavin, do I need the second set of parentheses? How come? Okay, very good. Anytime there's a plus sign right there, I'm allowed to just drop down the plus and I can basically get rid of those parentheses that I have right there. So I drop that down. Let's look at this first one. There is a number that goes with that x. What is the number?
1.
A 1. So let's just slip a little 1 right there. I'd like you to circle and underline your like terms and then find the correct answer. Guys, what's 1x plus 2x?
3x.
And what is 3 minus 1?
Positive 2.
Positive 2. Okay, take the sign of the larger number, guys. That's just a simple one, 3 minus 1. Off we go on to the next one. Can I circle and underline the original problem?
Nope. Yes.
No, I cannot because there are what? Parentheses. Hope, can I get rid of the parentheses on the first one? Yes, I can. So I'm going to drop down negative 1/5 y minus 6. Trenton, can I get rid of the parentheses on the next one? Yes, I can. So I'm going to drop down the plus sign and drop everything else down that was in my parentheses. Here I have a double sign, plus minus. Who wins?
Minus.
The minus, so you can either erase this or cross it out. Now I want you to underline and circle the common or the like terms and then stand once you have the correct answer. I would say as I walked around, only about half of you got this problem. First thing I want us to focus on is the y family or the variable family. Same sign or different sign?
Same time.
Same sign, add the numbers, keep the sign. I just saw a lot of you subtracting right there. Guys, they're both negatives. So if I add those and keep the sign, what do I get? Negative 4/5. Then a lot of people forgot to tell me this is the y family. Okay, please make sure you put that there. What happens to the -6 and the +6? They cancel out, so I don't need to put that. The correct answer was negative 4/5 y. Now it's asking us to find the difference. With this one, it's not quite as easy. I cannot just get rid of the parentheses because one of these has a negative in front of it. I want you to try just the first one, 4a, to see if you remember how to do it. We're not allowed to keep, we can get rid of the parentheses on the first one. But remember, this is a negative. Do we like it to be a negative? No. So remember, I gave you permission to change that to a what? A positive, but only under certain stipulations. What were those stipulations? So everything inside of here, this, instead of being a positive k, what will that be? It's going to be a negative. Instead of this being a positive, what does that need to change to? It's got to change to a negative, okay? So a few people did mention this one's going to be a negative 1k, which is fine, and my positive 11 turns to negative 11. Whenever you see this right here, a plus and a minus, who always wins? The minus always wins, so I can get rid of this. Underline it and circle it. How many of you would say you messed up on that part? You forgot the plus or the minus. Okay, that was the most common mistake I saw. Just make sure you remember this by your time that you have your quiz. So let's add the variable terms together. 2k minus 1k equals 1k. Positive 7 minus 11 equals negative 4. And then to make yourself look extra smart, we let that k, that 1 become just a plain old k. So k minus 4 is the correct answer. All right, how many of you see where you messed up? Okay, that's all right. I want you now to try problem B on your own and see if you can get it correct this time. Don't forget, change the minus to a plus, and then change everything inside of the parentheses. First things first, I no longer need my parentheses around the first one, but this is where it gets tricky. There's a minus in front of my parentheses, so I give you permission to change it to a positive or a plus. However, remember, everything over here, it becomes the opposite. That will become a negative, and this will become a positive. So as I bring this down, now I have instead negative 3.4c, and instead of a minus 5, I need to have a plus 5. Who would say you did do that part at least? Okay, good job. Now we're going to circle and underline. This is my C family. I don't need this extra little plus right there. This is my constant family. What's 8.6 minus 3.4?
5.2c.
Thank you for remembering the C. A lot of people just left the C out. And then we've got negative 2 plus 5, which is positive 3 or plus 3. The next one asks us to simplify the expression, make it more simple, using the distributive property. How do you show me work when it's a distributive property, class?
You put the little lines to the number.
Correct. I want those little lines, as she said, those arrows. Other than that, you do not have to show me work on problem A. So I want you to try to get the answer on your own. All right, Trenton, what is 2 times 3x? 6x. And then you also have to multiply that 2 on the outside times your second term. What's 2 times 5? 10. And is that a positive or a negative 10? Positive. So our correct answer is 6x plus 10. The next fraction is my favorite fraction. A half is the best because you're just cutting things in half. Once again, you don't have to show any work aside from the arrows. Try it on your own, doing it in your head because the fraction is a half. All right, Hayden, what's... All right, guys, help me with this. What is half of 10K?
5K.
5K. What is A half of a negative 6. Negative 3. So your correct answer is 5k minus 3. Try the final problem on your own. How many of you guys would say when you tried to do problem C, the first thing you did was draw arrows to all 3? Okay, I saw that from a few people, but there was something I taught you to do. Instead of drawing arrows to 3 different things, I said I wanted to see you combine your like terms, right? So you're going to drop down your negative 2. What always goes first, the variable term or the constant? Variable term. So I'm going to bring down the 2x. Now, class, what's negative 3 minus 5?
It's 15.
Same sign, add and keep. We're adding them together. Negative 3 plus negative 5. Negative 8. Who would say you got this far at least? Okay. Now let's try this out. I have a number on the outside that needs to be distributed to everything on the inside. The first section I have here, a negative times a positive. My answer has to be a negative. So that answer would be negative what?
4x.
Negative 4x. Next, you need to multiply this one, the negative 2 times the negative 8.
Plus 16.
Okay, so 2 negatives multiplied together is going to equal a positive, and 2 times 8 is 16. I saw a lot of people ended up with this answer, 16 minus 4x. How many of you would say you did get that? Okay, but remember, you want to put your variable term first. All right, so 3.1 through 3.3 is what we just covered, and that's what's going to be on your quiz on Monday.